I don't know, Frank. These are some exceptionally dark targets. Very dark indeed. You know what they say about 5.56? It was just made to maim. With this here lever action rifle, this gonna do a whole lot more than maim. You feel me? And this is why I love America. Regardless of what color you're painted, you can still get shot by my 357 Magnum. Back in my day, the only calibers we shot were the Lord's caliber and 357 Magnum rounds. Oh, well, Frank, that's what happens when you get a bad round. Try doing that with your 5.56. You know, I was telling Darlene over the weekend about the time I almost enlisted in the United States Army. But then I reminded her I'm serving my community better as a reserve, back up to the reserve, back up to the reserve, volunteer sheriff. And that is community service. That is sacrifice. We don't need sacrifice in the Army. We need it at the small unit, community level. Try doing that with your AR-15. You know, I see all these guys out here with their high-speed gizmos and their shot timers. What I don't see is American spirit. I'll show you grit. I'll show you some American spirit. Try doing that with your AR-15. Well, Frank, you know why we carry a 357 Magnum? Because they don't make a 356. You know what I always say? You only really need 11 rounds, a 357 Magnum. See? Because when that happens, you can go to your Python. Click. That's how you know it's working. Because you get more clicks with the Python. Like that. I understand your concern, Tom, but the cattle just cannot cross the river. You know the rules. No cattle, no river, no cross. Try doing that with your AR-15. Well, the year was 1984, and we were down on the John boat down by the river, and there was a big flood. So when I was a backup sheriff deputy to the volunteer sheriff's department, deputy sheriff's backup sheriff's deputy department, I always told the boys, you gotta be ready to be the 15th line of reserve. And that's why I never joined the Army. See? That is a 15th line of reserve, the true front line. Did I ever tell you guys a story about my son who was in the 82nd Airborne Division? He told me that we're preparing to go to war with China, and that's why we're always mobilizing across the United States. WROL. Try doing this with your auto pistol. Ugh. 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 See? Can't do this with your auto pistol now, can you? You know what I always say about the 1911? It really was a finicky beast. That's why I never upgraded from my Python. See, with the Python, you can always trust to get the job done. See, 6 rounds. That's all you need. Son, what the hell is a Siga? Back in my day, we just called. And that's the bottom line. I don't know what a Siga is, but I can tell you one thing. Just as good, old reliable. You ain't from around here, are you, boy? Now you see, because the AR-15 was made to maim, it might not even have hit these very dark targets, unlike what this Magnum can do. That's why you don't want an AR-15. You always need a Magnum. You can see how fast it is to load this thing, unlike an AR-15. See? Now that's efficiency. Manifest. If there was ever such thing as a perfect rifle, God intended, it's this beast of beauty. Don't tell Darlene, but I just bought another box of 50 rounds for the safe, because we only collect rounds in 50 round increments. And that's why I really look up to Hickok 45. Ugh. And that's the bottom line. You know, Frank, every time a former Navy SEAL releases a video, I always take their word, regardless of how much footwork they're trying to sell me. You know, retired Navy SEALs really are the backbone of the firearms and tactics community. I take their word as weight in gold. And that's the bottom line. You know, I really only do trust leather. Why would I trust my life to that new nylon? This here, this leather belt, that's really what you want. Leather. All American leather. And that's the bottom line. What do I think about Israel? They're our greatest ally. And that's the bottom line. All right, so if someone breaks into your house, the first thing you want to do is cock it, short stroke it. That way they know you mean business. Let's do a demonstration. Oh, Darlene, they're breaking in. Okay, it didn't work. Did I ever tell you the story about when I almost joined the Army? Yep, the year was 1984. And, you know, I just had a dream about serving my country, but I figured I could serve my country better being a reserve sheriff's deputy. So that's what I decided to do. Huh. Whoa, boy, you scared? Huh. Whoa, boy, you scared me there. And that's why I always say, Frank, I'm all about inclusiveness and I'm all about everyone being welcomed, but, whoa! And that's why I think for the small town of Pawnee, Arkansas, we have to include everybody if we're gonna be a true family. Oh, you went over there, boy. Howdy, partner. I'll kind of show you guys what we got going on here. Blued, okay, 4¼ inch, 357. Miss. Click. I'll show you guys the best part of shooting a revolver. All right, holster this bad Larry up. Let's do some stainless. Show you guys what we got going on. This is my 3-inch Python, 357 Magnum, of course. And just remember, Kings, 3 inches is a Magnum. Click. All right, guys, so hopefully everyone had fun out here on today's video, out on the range, just kind of relaxing, enjoying a 40,000 subscriber thank you video. Again, thank you to everyone that has supported this channel along the way. You are what makes this channel possible by liking, commenting, subscribing, doing all the things on YouTube. So a huge thank you from myself to you. So thank you for being here. Thanks for hanging out on the range. And until next time, it's going to be Trench Grenade, your average WROL boomer setup enjoyer that your mom said that we have at home, signing out. Cheers.